Hey guys, it's Caroline Grace, and today I want to talk about writer's block. So, writer's block is a problem I'm sure many of you have had to face. It is one of the most annoying problems in writing. I absolutely hate writer's block. A couple of months ago, I had someone tell me one of the biggest reasons people have writer's block is because they're going back and editing what they've already written, or they're overthinking what they're writing too much. That's what I do. I overthink what I write and I go back and edit. I've started looking around for different writing software I could use to have a writing timer set, and if I stop typing, it deletes all my work. And that has helped me so much, because I found if I don't have the opportunity to go back and second guess what I write because I have to keep writing, it just flows, and I haven't really run into writer's block much. I still do run into writer's block a fair amount. Even with this advice, I just don't often run into writer's block in the middle of writing something anymore. Usually it's trying to get started with writing, or I finished a scene and I'm moving on to the next scene and I just don't know where I want the scene to go. What I've been doing is, since it's gotten warmer, I've been taking walks, going on bike rides with either music that makes me inspired or happy or any of that, or listening to a podcast, taking a break, going for a walk, doing exercise. I've also found talking to other people, and especially in quarantine, I've noticed that I've been struggling with my writing a little bit because on top of the stress of everything that's going on in the world, I also just am not really talking to people because I'm stuck in my house with my family. I've found that if I can either meet up with someone and stay 6 feet apart and talk, or talk through Skype or Zoom or FaceTime, that helps so much with my writing too. Or the other thing I found is to just skip the scene and come back. I had in my second book a chapter that I just could not write. I spent a week on this chapter and I just could not write it. So I skipped the chapter and came back to it a week later, and it just flowed. It was just super easy to get it down then with that extra bit of time. A break always helps. And the other thing is, I found part of what I struggle with when I'm writing and what causes my writer's block is when I think how will other people react to this? And you have to remind yourself, this is your first draft. No one else has to see it. And this is just, your first draft is just you writing. It doesn't matter how terrible your first draft is. It doesn't matter how many plot holes it has. It's your first draft. So the most important part of your first draft is just get it out there. And then when you're going through and editing, that's when you can make the changes and edit. But for your first draft, just write. Write every day. Write even when you don't feel like it. Even if you can't write every day on the same project, write every day, regardless of what you're working on. If I am stuck on my book, sometimes I'll just free write for 15 minutes about either a writing prompt I found or just what I'm thinking or what's going on in my life, that type of thing. And that tends to help me, in particular with writer's block, to just open a blank Word document, set a timer for 15 minutes and just write what's going on in my life and how frustrated I am that I'm stuck, and to just not stop typing. And I find that helps a lot too. I think there are definitely different types of writer's block depending on what you're trying to write. I can only speak to what I've done in the past. As a fantasy author who sometimes dabbles in horror and mystery and that type of thing. A lot of the times, another problem authors face related to writer's block is the self-deprecating talk. And maybe if I'm struggling with it, I just shouldn't write it. No. First off, I always have to remind myself, and this helps me personally, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. Again, it's your first draft. You don't have to show it to anyone else. Get out of your own head, stop thinking about it. And I have this quote pinned to my wall. I don't know who said it, because I printed out these quotes 4 years ago. It's, remember your writing is boring because A, you wrote it, B, you've read it a million times, and C, it won't be boring to other people. And I always like to look at that when I'm struggling. A lot of the time, I'll send a chapter to one of my friends and be like, this is terrible, I hate it so much. And they're like, what are you talking about? This is actually really interesting. And then I have to think back, and I'm like, I spent 5 hours today working on just this chapter. Of course it's going to be bad to me. Of course it's going to be boring and feel, not good. So for all my fellow writers, it would be great if you guys could comment down below what you do to get out of writer's block, what solutions you found that are helpful, and if anything I said works for you, that would be great. And I'm always looking for new solutions to make my writing easier, and what works for me won't work for everyone, so you might be able to help someone else out too. Thank you guys. Make sure to check me out on Patreon, Twitter, and Instagram. All of those will also be linked down below. And thank you guys for watching.